He jumps like he's jumping off a trampoline and moves like a ballerina on his feet if it is over 300 pounds. He has been so eye-poppingly impressive. Sustainable, I think, is the right word. I talked to a lot of people throughout the course of the off-season, now this season, from the New Orleans Pelicans organization. And I think for Zion, he's 19 years old. And think about, well, I'm not sure this counts for you, Jenna. I'm not sure this counts for you because I think you were probably so diligent and strict with your diet.
But I know what you mean. It's hard at that
teenager.
age. Coming out of
getting
college,
used to it. You're coming out of college. He was overpowering everyone at Duke throughout the course of, whether it was junior high, high school. Now, I think it's going to be a work in progress. And that's such a major factor in the NBA, of all teams having dietitians and having so much of a support staff to try and get guys to be at their peak maximum physical form. And a lot of that, comes from eating. And you look at his body, you look at how he moves, what he can do. He's dense. He's got a density to his game. And so it's not even so much that he's eating vastly unhealthy. I mean, think about the fact that he was injured. So he wasn't getting necessarily those game type of reps. And in that game type of condition, I just think it's going to be a process. I don't think he will stay in this weight. I think it will be a continued push. But
does it matter if he does, is the question. Like, does it matter? Can he play this well at 300 pounds?
I don't know.
He is. Hold on.
I think he could. I think he could play this well. I do think for the longevity of his career, there's going to be a point. That is a lot of weight to be up and down. I think that he could be this impactful? Yes, but in terms of staying this healthy for year after year, season after season, I do think some of those. Do I think he's still going to be 284? Yeah. Is he going to be 290? But I do think it's going to be a constant focus for him to stay disciplined in what he's eating.
Every single pro athlete, every single NBA star, let me say that, except for the guy we were talking about earlier, Kevin Durant. Their body has undergone a transformation from their rookie season to once everyone was poking fun at Jason Tatum's tattoo because it might be missing an apostrophe. Depends on what you actually want the tattoo to say. Maybe it's a future tense. God's will score for the Celtics, or God's will apostrophe S. But he looks like a cartoon character in a good way. Like his triangular upper back down to a tiny waist. He didn't look like that.
Oh, he turned into a man this year.
Absolutely.
Like you watch him in his physical form on the court.
You know why? Because it's year 3, and because his body filled out. Guys will Zion's body will undoubtedly change. He might grow more because he's only 19 years old. Giannis grew 3 inches from the time he was drafted to right now. But does he need to? Not for the next few years. Listen, he is the strongest, most powerful, highest jumping freak in the league with the biggest freaks. And because we've run out of... The only thing to do with Zion is watch and marvel. And Jenna, you were sitting across from me 3 years ago when we watched a guy who looked the exact same size do this in high school. He's a big kid. And so, listen, I don't know if he's eating 100 beignets a day, but I think he should do exactly what he's doing because he's come into the league and he has killed everyone. He has dominated it. And there's this element of, well, it can't sustain. Why not? Says who? In what world? Like Barkley's what, the 19th greatest player ever? He was big for a decade, slimmed down at some point.
And I think Barkley has admitted that if he took a little better care of his body, his career might have been a little bit different. He has said that a number of different times. I love the kid. I love watching him. I think today he's spectacular. I think tomorrow he's spectacular. I think the concern people have is years from now, the toll it takes on your knees, the toll it takes on your health, if he doesn't change his body, if his body doesn't change.
I agree. I think he could still be as dominant and continue to do what he's doing at any weight. He has been extraordinary. It has been remarkable to watch the way in which, I said it, how he jumps, how he moves, his rim running, how quickly he gets up the floor. Everything about that. I do think you start to think about your joints.
Give me that ball.
But look at how high he's up and down.
But here's where I disagree with you when you say, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sarah, where you say he can do it at any weight. I think the weight helps him. I think in a league of shooting and small ball and little guys and finesse, having a big,
what
strong,
are we talking, though? 10 pounds? Or are we
to me, but there's a big difference. It's like for these guys to guard him. I bet he don't smell that good. He's sweat. He's pouring sweat. You can't get a hold on him because he seems a little rubbery, and he is coming downhill in your face repeatedly. He has to be miserable to guard. Part of that is because of his size. I don't get it.
He's not going to be thin. He's not going to be Kevin Love. To me, he's not going to turn into someone that is not going to have that same force.
He's always going to have the girth. He's always going to have that girth.
So then what? Well, hold on. Two things. One is Kevin Love's a really interesting point.
Because
I didn't
think about his body.
Yeah.
Think about the transformation of Kevin Love.
And think about when he was his best. He was a little chubby. He had 30 rebound games. And now maybe I don't know what it would have looked like at his older age, but sometimes guys are actual unicorns. Sometimes guys are no. We've never seen anything like him, and this what people seem to want. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. Well, he's got to change because he's going to get hurt. Maybe, or maybe he can just keep killing people. And maybe Zion, this idea that, well, he's not going to be able to keep doing it. Can we see?
Does it concern you that he was injured earlier this year?
Do we think that, do we think if he was 8 pounds lighter, he wouldn't have been? I don't. I mean, I don't. Because if we are talking about can his knees handle it, then it is a question of major body transformation. It's not, if the knees can handle it at 13% body fat, and it's probably not even that, are we saying they can't handle it at 14.2? I mean, I don't.
It's just a small sample size right now. But look, right now, he's doing it all. And he's young enough where his body can take the constant pounding night in and night out.
But isn't the sample size his entire basketball life? Isn't this what he did in high school? And then he went to Duke and did it at Duke. And now he's gone to the NBA, and he's had one bad game. And since that game, he's scoring 27.5 on 63% shooting. And the shooting percentages matter a lot because he's getting all of his shots at the rim. Whereas here's what Zion needs.
Except for that pretty three he
had. A little shimmy step back. Here's what Zion needs to work on. His free throws and his jump shot. His free throws and his jump shot are an actual weakness. His body is something I think people want to be, I don't want to say want to, but expect to be a weakness, but I just haven't seen it. I see him miss a free throw, be the first one to the ball, and then use some of that girth and strength to rip the ball away from somebody. And people say with Barkley, well, Barkley wasn't as high of a flyer, so Barkley didn't put the wear and tear on his knees. Yeah, I got it, but Barkley also played 30 years ago without the technology we have today, and he was fine. Man, Zion, I say you change nothing, kid.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.